You probably hear this phrase every day, service delivery protests. But let's go back to what it really means. It really comes down to people being angry as they don't have access to service needed to survive. It's become a struggle to get the basics like water, electricity and even housing. SALGA has now launched the Asisho, Let's Say It, civic responsibility campaign. It places a responsibility on residents to pay for services and on local government to provide those services. Let's get more now from SALGA COO Lance Jewell. Lance, thank you very much for your time here on eNCA. Now, in terms of this campaign that SALGA is launching, how is it going to assist us, particularly looking at the fact that the AG report shows that municipalities are actually becoming worse and not better?
Well, good afternoon, Masejo, and also good afternoon to the viewers. And thanks for the opportunity. Well, I think you hit the nail right on the head, is that as we speak, there are quite a few negative things in the media space, social media space, around local government holistically. And the bleak picture was painted by the AG when she released the audit outcomes report on the 15th of July. While as SALGA, representative voice of municipalities, we felt it is an opportunity for us to bring on board all of the role players within the local government space, but more so those in the municipal space. So a municipality is made up of its political leadership, which is the councillors. It's made up of the workers, employees of municipalities. And lastly, it's made up of the communities. And this campaign that we have launched today is directed at those three components within our municipalities, with the view to parallel, firstly, find a way to increase the services to our communities in a sustainable way, but also to get communities on board to contribute towards the sustainability of our municipalities. Very opportune time. We think there is no better time to do so and get all of those relevant players on board.
All right, so you say that in this Asisho campaign, the whole approach is to say that residents should pay for services and municipal managers or government officials in that municipality should provide those services. Is it really that easy? Because we can show you so many, for instance, municipalities, definitely not all of them, I agree, but so many where services are paid for by at least majority of those living in those areas and still no services are rendered. So is it that easy?
Well, it's not that simple, Masejo, and certainly we do not present a picture that it is a simple matter to deal with. But as the campaign theme says, Asisho, let's say it. Let's start the conversation towards, as you correctly pointed out, ensuring that there's sustainable delivery of services. And that's where our municipalities play a core role, the political leadership and the municipal employees. So we would want them to recommit themselves towards the mandate, a constitutional mandate of local government. But on the flip side, we would also want to call upon our communities. As we speak, this was also confirmed by the AG and National Treasury. Municipalities are owed in excess of 255 billion rands. And certainly, if we look at the quantum that is involved, there should be a conversation around recovering at least the bulk of that money so that it can assist municipalities to be extending, well, firstly, sustaining the provision of services, but secondly, extending services where indeed some communities are still unable to access those services. So it's not a simple task. We don't think it's an overnight an event. We do believe it is something that we should at least start a conversation around and do something about improving the current state of affairs. And this is what we are saying. Let's say it, start the conversation, and hopefully get us to a point where there is sustained delivery of services and, together with that, sustainable municipalities.
I'm going to ask you to be very short with this answer. In terms of the AG's report, the president of SALGA, Mr. Bheki Stofile, has actually said that he blames it also on the unequal distribution of funds from National Treasury. He says that also contributes to the problem. Just elaborate this further for us. Is this because of the different, number of people in that population?
Well, I think certainly, Masego, it is no secret that across the three spheres of government, local government received the least from the national fiscus, and it amounts to just over 9% on an annual basis. And there's so much more to be done. If you look at the constitutional allocation of powers and functions, 46% of the constitutional powers and functions are allocated to local government, and yet local government is not appropriately and sufficiently funded to execute and deliver those particular services. So that's the point that the president of SALGA made, to say, let's review the allocation of funding to municipalities so that indeed it assists municipalities in responding to delivering and executing the functions that are allocated to them. But in the same breath, as we are saying with this particular campaign, let's also call upon communities, call upon business, call upon government that owes municipalities in the total of 255 billion to service their debt, so that it also contributes towards the sustainability of our municipalities, and it will certainly increase the delivery of services to communities.
All right, thank you very much for speaking to us, Lance Jewell from SALGA. He is, of course, the COO of the South African Local Government Association.